Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Critical Conversations, where we explore the topics that enlighten, empower, and encourage us in every aspect of life. I am so excited to have you with us tonight as we dive into a series of important discussions designed to inspire personal growth and community impact. Tonight, we'll be talking about a Chicago native breaking into the entertainment industry and the entrepreneurship world, something many of us can relate to, even if you don't think so, because no matter what industry we find ourselves in, it takes passion and perseverance to rise to a place of success. After that, we move to our coaching corner, where we get some powerful coaching advice on overcoming procrastination and boosting productivity, a challenge we all face from time to time, but one that we can conquer with the right tools and the right mindset. And then finally, we'll wrap up this evening with our Be Encouraged segment by reflecting on the beauty of perseverance and the transformative power that comes from never giving up, no matter how tough the journey gets. And to kick things off, I'm thrilled to welcome our first guest. Joining us is Corey D. Williams, actor and business owner, who's here to shed light on how if we pursue our dreams, we can live a life where career and purpose truly intersect. Corey, welcome to Critical Conversations.
What's going on, man?
What's up, man?
How you doing?
Good. How about yourself? Good. Have a seat. Well, Corey, again, thank you for being here this evening. I'm so glad you're here.
I appreciate you for having me, man.
Absolutely. So for some people, if they've been living under a rock, let's say, and they don't know who you are, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Man, I'm just a kid born on the west side of Chicago. And out here just trying to fill the void, chasing my dreams, man. That's about it. And Corey D. Williams. Sometimes people call me Corey DeMai. So, yeah. Gotcha.
Okay, so tell us about Gravy, and how did that even start? Because it's pretty fly.
Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. It honestly, it started for me just being in, like, film and fashion. And I guess people used to just see things that I didn't see in myself. I was living in LA, and everywhere I go, people used to ask me, like, where you get that from? Or what did you with that jacket, did you make that? And I'm trying to figure out why. I'm trying to feel like, why y'all asking me did I buy this? I bought it from Zara. Like,
oh, wow.
But I honestly, me filling the void, I figured it was something they saw in myself. So I moved back to Chicago. I was like, I'm gonna start me a clothing brand. Didn't really know how, but I started in 2012. Gravy is the name of a zebra. It's the imperial species of zebras. They call it gravies, Equus gravy. And they're very rare. Their stripes are very thin, like different, like the regular zebras. It's like the mountain, the plain, and gravies. Gravies are called the imperial species. And I feel like us creators, African Americans, is someone living in the hood, coming from the jungle. I feel like we imperial. I feel like we different. I feel like we're creative. And like zebra stripes is like our fingerprint. So no one zebra is the same. And that's how we are unique, with our fingerprint. Wow. So I create dope, unique pieces that make you feel imperial as kings and queens, and we all stand out. And we all gravy, but we not the same.
Oh, I love that. We're all gravy, but we're not the same.
Yeah.
Now, I'm also still stuck on the fact that this journey started for you because you decided to believe what somebody else was seeing in you.
Yeah, man. Honestly, like I feel like we all speak things to existence on other friends. I feel like, oh man, you should do this, or oh, you're like, yeah, really? So if so many people keep saying it, I'm like, all right, it gotta be true. It's something that I'm doing. I'm already in fashion. I like fashion. I was dressed well. I was a model, modeling for other brands. I'm like, why am I making everybody else money? I should be making myself.
Very true.
So,
Okay, how hard? That had to be difficult because you didn't know anything about starting a clothing company.
Not at all. Like my uncle is like, he was the head designer at Sean John. He worked for intern at Fubu. So I saw the how far you can go that way. But as far as like just starting, I didn't know how to start. Like most people in creators, we don't know where to start. And a few dope Chicago brands I can name, Fashion Geek Zoe, Dave Jeff with Fly, and Edward Art with his brand. And I seen them started with t-shirts. Well, most started with t-shirts. And I'm like, okay, I now know where to start. And it was a homie back in college. I think SK had a brand called Street Knowledge. And I was like, okay, I see how he started. And I'm like, okay, this is how we start. I knew where to start. I knew where a starting point is. So that's how I'm one of those like things where I got superpowers. When I know how to start, I see somebody else know how to do it, I automatically feel like I can do it better. Or I know how to give me a destination of where to go. So
I love that.
Once once I found out that information, and one of my friends, Rod, he took me to his print shop where he get his things done at, and shout out to him. And my first design ever was a Mother's Day t-shirt.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I started off with a Mother's Day t-shirt, had babies, youth, adults, sold out them boys, and it was like, okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 2012, that's what we kicked it off at.
2012, I mean, and just on the outside looking in, it seems like for somebody that Gravy just like popped out of nowhere and rose to the top, but 2012,
it wasn't even called Gravy then.
Really?
Nah.
Oh, now you gotta give what was that resume?
So the brand name was called Stolic Kid.
Wow.
And I got tired of explaining what Stolic Kid mean to people, because people that's not in church doesn't know. I took off the oppos and kept Stolic. And it was just like sent to overachieve leading class. Like as a kid, I feel like that's the most humblest form you can come as. So if you was as an apostle, you was sent to change the world. You come in as a kid first. And most understands a kid. So me trying to explain that, understanding, and it's like, but my logo was always a zebra, is the Gravy zebra. So I did it.
Even with the old name?
Yeah, it was always like my brand, my first 3-4 years was always black and white. My whole brand, everything was black and white. And then I think it was probably like 2014, 2015, I seen working in the 900 North building in Michigan, they had the signs of like January was the year of the monkey with the Chinese New Year. And I was like, I'm gonna do a collection called Year of the Gravy. And then one of my friends was like, dog, that's a collection on its own. And I dropped the shirts that sold out less than a day. And I was like, okay, well, I didn't tell nobody that I changed the name, I just changed the name. I just started putting Gravy on everything. My website was still Stolic Kid. Like I didn't give nobody no warnings, no announcements. It just seamless transition.
Wow.
And people still be like calling the other. I'm like, okay, it's cool.
That is why I never knew that.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Me and 10 at the crib starting it together.
That is crazy. Yeah. That's okay. And then again, you can talk more about how the fashion, your brand has really been in front of a lot of eyes at this point.
Been blessed. Yeah. So I'm an actor, so I had it on the show, The Power Book Force. It's been on The Shy. A lot of football, NBA players were rocking it. Chris Brown wore it on at his last tour on stage.
He did. I saw that.
That's one of my favorite artists. So that was probably the biggest accomplishment.
That
was my biggest accomplishment. I'm like, I don't care. I don't need nobody else. The king. The king. Who else?
Like, what are you doing?
Like, okay, I don't know Chris Brown. Where am I going? I don't know where you're going. But yeah, man, it's been blessed, dog. I say as I grow, as I get bigger, my brand grows. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, you also, again, what you just talked about, have been acting in some shows here. Power Book Force, you were
Chicago
in.
Chicago Fire. Empire.
That's wow. Yeah. Okay, how in the world did that happen?
Man, okay, everything started off being a model. And then as you be a model, you be on commercial sets or everything, but you have people with speaking roles. And I'm trying to figure out, okay. And then one of my friends was like, bro, you should act. I got a play coming up. I'm like, bro, I don't act. He's like, bro, you're funny, you're cool, people like you should, So I started, did a stage play, and then I'm like, I need to take it to a next level. So I started taking classes, started doing short films, independent films, and then gradually, long story short, end up getting an agent, get representation, and then, start sending you out on auditions, and I gradually booked these roles. Yeah, booked the recurring role on Power Book Force. I spoke that to assistant. So it was
and I watched it. Yeah. You were really good. I'm like, man, who knew this man could act?
Right. I was doing that before everything else. I was acting before fashion.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Man. Okay, now, so you got Gravy clothing brand. You're acting, you started in modeling, but now you also have a children's book.
Yeah, I wrote the children's book. Yep. It's called Justin the Good Listener. It teaches readers, kids go throughout his day showing how to be a good listener, and you never have to be told things twice. Like that's the motto that gives it the flow. Because I feel like most kids with repetition, they learn quicker by memorizing. When I was working in a daycare in my early years, I found out kids, like they memorize those smaller short books like Brown Bear, stuff like that.
Yep.
So I just filled in the void. My mom used to always tell me I shouldn't have to tell you things twice. I found myself telling the kids I shouldn't have to tell you things twice. And I feel like certain the books was too long for the kids. Like they got all these words, like a thesis statement. You got a 4-year-old trying to read that much words, their attention span gone.
Yeah.
So I just, seen what they had, and I seen what was missing, and I'm like, okay, I can write my own.
That is wow. Yeah. Okay. How have you connected all of this to your own sense of calling and purpose in life?
Well, everything is just a void that's like missing in my life. With fashion, it's like, I go in my closet and figure out what's missing, and I design that. Or I'm a stylist as well, so it's like instead of me going to other places and styling my clients, I can go in my own closet, as far as my gravy closet. With the children's book, I found out what kids like, what was missing and were listening, and black boys and little girls in the daycare, so I wrote that. So it's just me filling the void that's missing in my life, that's around people in my life or around my life, so it's like, it shouldn't be that hard.
Wow, that is great perspective.
Yeah.
Using your voice as almost like a door to creativity.
Yeah.
That's really good. Since you've been on this journey, what is one time that you feel like, man, that failed, but it taught you one of your greatest lessons?
That failed, it taught me one of my greatest lessons. I think I was, failed. I don't know if you fail smaller failures with like designs and stuff like that. Like I think with fashion and brand, I'm learning to make more women's clothes.
Okay.
So I think with me just learn, like I messed up on a waistline or learning how to high waist in some ways. Like it's just those little small things. When a client doesn't get it right, you learn the next time. It's gonna cost you a lot of money every time.
Fair.
And I don't want to lose out on money, so I kind of gotta learn fast on those aspects.
Got it. Makes
so we're
sense.
just learning the body structure as far as size and everything.
Makes sense. Okay, so tell the folks how to find you, how to contact you, if they want this children's book, if they definitely need these clothes, if they're trying to book you for anything else, let us know how we get in contact.
So social media on every platform is Corey Demond, like demon, but not a demon, Corey Demond. My brand is Always Gravy, gravy like the zebra, GREVYI, Always Gravy on all accounts and on the website. And my children's book is justinthegoodlistener.com and Justin the Good Listener on social media. So Corey Demond, you can find me, and yeah.
Love that, man. Again, thank you so much for taking the time out to do this.
This was dope.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for spending some time with us tonight. And on the other side of the break is the Coaching Corner. Stay with us.
On the next Chicago Newsroom 2.0, we'll take a closer look at Project 2025. I'll also sit one-on-one with Chicago Public Library Commissioner Chris Brown and UCAN CEO and President Krista Hamilton. Join the conversation on CAN TV, cable channel 19, or stream live on cantv.org or on the CAN TV Plus app. Experience the power of community television.
Welcome to the Coaching Corner, where we're going to talk about real life challenges and offer some coaching strategies that not only improve your life, but also connect you to a deeper purpose. And in today's episode, I'm hoping that it resonates with many of you, because especially those of you that are feeling procrastination is robbing you of progress in your life. I recently had someone by the name of Whitney reach out to me asking for advice on how to deal with procrastination. She reached out, but she's a single mom. She's trying to juggle work, parenting, having a social life, but she's also trying to get a small business off of the ground. Okay? So, Whitney, I'm going to help you. All right? We're going to have a real conversation tonight, and hopefully what I offer can be of some assistance to you. But first off, let me just say, you are a superhero. I mean, single mom, juggling work, trying to keep a social life, and on top of that, you are out here trying to start a business. I mean, you need to be applauded for sure. Let's just pause right there and give you some credit, because I know, as for me, what it feels like to be stretched in 1,000 different directions at once. It's like you're doing a constant balancing act while spinning plates and dodging curveballs all at the same time. I mean, it can be wild. But you reached out about procrastination, and let me tell you something. Procrastination is that slick little thing that likes to show up just when you decided to make a big move. It's like that one friend who's always telling you, "Nah, girl, you can do that tomorrow. Just relax today, chill out," right? Meanwhile, tomorrow turns into next week, and before you know it, your big dreams are sitting on the shelf collecting dust. But I got you, okay? I got you. We're gonna walk through this. We're gonna break this procrastination habit down bit by bit. I hope you're ready. You ready? Okay. Number one, let's get straight to the point. You are not lazy, all right? Let's throw that idea out of the window right now. You are a single mom, and that alone leaves no room for laziness in your world, all right? The truth is, Whitney, procrastination is often a sign of being overwhelmed, not being lazy. When you got so many things pulling at you in different directions, it can feel like there's no point in starting anything because you don't even know where to begin. It's like, trying to clean your house after the kids have had a full-on tornado moment. You walk into the mess, you look around, and you're like, where do I even start? Is it the toys, the dishes, the unidentified substance on the wall? Just everything. It will make you freeze. But see, when you've got work, kids, social life, and dreams of building a business, it's easy to get caught up in that same freeze mode. You've got so much on your plate that doing nothing seems like the easiest option. But let's be real, right? Doing nothing is only going to make you feel worse, right? So let's break out of that. Here's where we want to start hitting at procrastination where it hurts. I've got a secret for you, right? A little secret rule that I use. I call it the 15-minute rule. Right? So you got this business idea, you're trying to kick it off. Well, instead of thinking about how you need to sit down for hours and plan everything, because let's be honest, nobody has hours of free time just sitting in their schedule waiting for you to use, right? But let's just commit to 15 minutes. That's it. Set a timer, grab your notebook or laptop, and focus on one task for just 15 minutes. It might be brainstorming your business idea, researching your market, or even sketching out a few ideas. But the beauty of the 15-minute rule is that once you get moving, it's easier to keep going. You'll find that those 15 minutes often turn into 30, or maybe even an hour. But you've got to trick your brain into thinking it's not that big of a deal. And if after 15 minutes you feel like stopping, cool. Because guess what? You've still made progress. It's all about building momentum, one small step at a time. All right? Now let's talk about two of procrastination's closest friends. They are always around. If procrastination is there, you can be sure to look out for guilt and perfectionism. They're sneaky, and they're always hanging around whispering in your ear. All right? Guilt is always going to be saying something like you should be doing more, or look at everything you haven't done yet. And then perfectionism over here will be whispering, if it's not perfect, then it's not worth doing. And together, they'll have you stuck overthinking every little thing. But here's the truth. Nobody and no thing is going to be perfect. Not your business, not your life, and not even your dinner plans, if we're being honest. And trust me, I like to cook. I cook often. But there have been a couple of times dinner plans did not go as planned, right? So you have to be okay with starting messy. You don't need to have it all figured out before you take that first step. Perfection is the enemy of progress, and we do not have time for that enemy in your life right now. So let's put guilt and perfectionism on mute, all right? Let's just hit the mute button, put them on mute right there. All right. And let's be real for a second. The idea of doing it all, that's a trap. Especially as African-American people, society tends to put so much pressure on us to be everything. In your instance, to be the super mom, the career boss, the community leader, the friend who never misses a beat. And if you're anything less than perfect in any area, it can oftentimes feel like you're failing. But that is a lie. You're not failing. You're human, and humans can't do it all at once. We've got to learn to prioritize. What's the most important thing you need to focus on today? Not this week. Don't think about this month. Just today. What is the number one thing I need to focus on today? When it comes to launching your business, maybe that means carving out just an hour this week to dedicate to that project. Or maybe next week it's 2 hours. But in order to move forward, you've got to make it a priority, even if it's just a little bit of time, all right? And remember, saying yes to your business sometimes it also means saying no to other things, but that's okay. You've got limited time and energy, so let's use it wisely. Hey, here's something else that can help you with this. And we've all been there, thinking we can handle everything on our own. But the truth is, it's a whole lot easier when you've got someone to check in with. Accountability is key. Find someone who can hold you to your goals. It can be a friend, a mentor, or even a family member. Tell them about the business you want to start. Share your plans with them and let them know where you're struggling, because sometimes just knowing that someone is going to be calling or texting you saying, hey, did you work on that business plan this week, is enough to keep you moving. And Whitney, I don't want you to think of asking for help as a weakness. It's really a strength. We all need someone in our corner. Even superheroes had sidekicks and backups. And though you are a true superhero, you also need backup, all right? Now here's one thing you've got to learn to get comfortable with, and that is setting boundaries. Sometimes there can be this unrealistic pressure to be available for everybody all the time, and it can feel overwhelming. You're probably the go-to person for family, the go-to person for friends, maybe even some coworkers here or there. But if you're serious about tackling procrastination and launching that business, you're gonna have to guard your time like it's gold. When it's time to work on your dream, set some boundaries. That means maybe letting the phone go to voicemail, telling folks you can't make it out this weekend, or carving out some uninterrupted time for just you. It doesn't have to be long though, right? Maybe it's just an hour or a few times a week, but that hour is for you and your business. You deserve that. You make you a priority, all right? And in the spirit of making yourself a priority, we've got to talk about celebrating you. And I don't just mean waiting until your business is fully launched for you to have a celebratory party and pop champagne. No. We've got to celebrate every step of the way. Did you knock out that 15 minutes of work on your business idea? Okay, let's celebrate that. Did you brainstorm some names and make your first call to a potential mentor? I think that's a win. It's worth celebrating. And when you celebrate the small stuff, it builds momentum. And suddenly, procrastination doesn't even stand a chance. You start to realize that progress doesn't have to be massive in order for it to be meaningful. Finally, I want us to get to the heart of this issue, and that's your why. Why are you trying to start this business? Is it for financial freedom? To show your kids what's possible? To create something that's yours? Whatever your why is, you've got to keep it front and center. Because when procrastination starts creeping back in, remind yourself why you are doing this. It's your why that's going to keep you grounded. That why is going to pull you through the tough days. It's what's going to keep you motivated when you're tired, overwhelmed, or doubting yourself. So Whitney and anybody else that's listening to this, procrastination doesn't stand a chance. You got too much vision, too much strength to let it win. Remember, it's not about doing everything at once. It's about starting small, prioritizing what matters, celebrating each step of the way. Because you're already a boss. You're just getting ready to level up. So I want you to go for it, Whitney, one step at a time, because I believe in you and you got this. We'll be right back with our segment, Be Encouraged. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Ashley Munson, inviting you to join me and my Chief of Staff, Justin James, and the No Name Band for Munson Tonight, with guest Tanika Lewis-Johnson and Alderman Will Hall. Join the conversation Thursday, September 26th at 7 p.m. on CanTV Cable Channel 19 or stream live on cantv.org. Hyper local news and public affairs experience the power of community television.
Okay, let's have a critical conversation tonight that's sure to encourage you. Because have you ever been so close to giving up that you could taste it? You know, that moment where it seems easier to let go of the dream, walk away from the struggle, and just accept that maybe it wasn't meant to be. We've all been there. But here's the thing. There's a lie buried in that moment of exhaustion. The lie says giving up will bring you peace. It promises that if you just stop trying, the pain will disappear, the burden will lift, and life will get easier. But the reality is that lie leads to regret, emptiness, and an unfulfilled purpose. It may feel like the right choice in the moment, but it distances us from the growth God wants to bring into our lives. See, the journey of not giving up is where we are spiritually, mentally, and emotionally shaped for the future. It's not just about holding on through tough times. It's about becoming the person God is calling us to be. So let's talk about that lie for a moment. The world tells us that giving up will make the pain go away. If you stop now, it says you will be sure to avoid failure. You will avoid embarrassment. You won't have to deal with disappointment. But giving up is never a path to peace. It's a detour to our life wondering what could have been. When we give up, we settle for less than what God has promised. The enemy would love for you to believe that your trials are pointless, that your struggles are too much, and that the future God has for you is too hard to reach. But the truth is this, the very challenges that make you want to quit are the ones preparing you for the next level of your purpose. Every time you push through, something happens inside of you. Spiritually, your faith is stretched and expanded. You're learning to trust God in the valleys and not just on the mountaintops. And let me tell you something, when you have learned to trust God in your hardest moments, that faith becomes unshakable. Mentally, when you don't give up, you build resilience, because resilience is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. You start to see challenges not as roadblocks, but as stepping stones. Instead of shrinking back, you rise up, knowing that you've been here before. And with God's help, you made it through. And when we refuse to give up, we aren't just hanging on by a thread. We're releasing our tight grip and placing it in God's hands. That's where the real strength comes from. In our weakness, his power is made perfect. Not giving up isn't about you holding on tighter. It's about loosening your grip and trusting that God is holding you up. And here's the thing. We don't know what's on the other side of our perseverance. That's the mystery of faith. We don't know when the breakthrough will come, but we do know who will bring it. We don't know how long we'll have to fight, but we do know that we're never fighting alone. God is working behind the scenes, and your future is indeed worth fighting for. I want to encourage you tonight, don't give up. Not now, not ever. The lie of giving up may seem comforting in the moment, but it's a temporary fix that leads to a lifetime of regret. Instead, lean into God, surrender your weakness, and let him be your strength. Remember, the Bible doesn't promise that we won't face hard times, but it does promise that we serve a God who will be with us every step of the way. A God who never gives up on us, even when we're tempted to give up on ourselves. And when you make it through, I promise you that you will, you'll look back and see that every tear, every trial, and every moment of uncertainty was worth it, because you'll be standing in the fullness of God's promise, stronger and more complete than you've ever been. So hold on. Don't give up. The future God has for you is closer than you think, and it's worth every step of faith you take today. God bless you. Keep persevering. And remember that transformation is often on the other side of a critical conversation.